Well, if he really was filming everybody, let me see. I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? You know who said?
Joe Rogan, Terrence Howard, and Katt Williams just exploded with reactions after new bombshell files tied to Diddy hit the net. And guess who else just pulled up? Elon Musk. He's throwing shade and warning all the white celebs who somehow got tangled in this chaos.
You know?
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people in the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously. It's like insane.
Publicly, openly, like all in.
Yes. It's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend. and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
They're trying to ghost out the country real quick. But let's make one thing real clear before we go deeper. This is all based on what sources, insiders, and online chatter are saying. Nothing's confirmed yet. I'm just telling you what's being said on the streets and all over the net.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something. They may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them. Man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the... And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that shit is crazy. And like I just said, you know, that's just something that I heard.
Now here's where it gets even crazier. Fresh reports are spilling out from the prison where Diddy's being held, and word is he might be ready to snitch if that's what it takes to save his neck. Yeah, it's looking that wild. And Joe Rogan, Terrence, and Katt are hinting that Diddy's got dirt on some major names. Names that no one thought would be connected to this storm. And guess who's at the top of that list? Uncle Steve Harvey. Yup. According to folks online and little hints Katt Williams dropped, Steve dipped out of the country real fast the moment he caught wind of Diddy's indictment.
Did?
The man didn't just leave. He vanished like a ghost. Shut down his shop, scrubbed his socials, and even deleted an old 2017 tweet where he called Diddy a brother doing good for the kids. That ain't aging too well now, is it? But here's where it really starts to get uncomfortable. Back in the day, Steve was moving like everything was picture perfect, jet-setting in Italy with Diddy and Lori Harvey. And yes, that's after Lori had supposedly been with Diddy's son Justin, then switched lanes to Diddy himself. That's not just messy, it's straight up uncomfortable. Now buckle up, because what really creeped people out? A photo resurfaced of Lori wearing white nail polish during that vacation. Might sound small, but if you've been tracking this Diddy mess, that detail hits different. In her lawsuit, Cassie said Diddy made all the women around him wear white nails as a signal, a dark one, tied to those so-called freak-offs. The white nail polish? It wasn't just some style choice. It popped against the skin of Diddy's black ex-workers, making it even more disturbing. According to Cassie, this was all part of Diddy's sick obsession, something tied to his twisted recordings that he kept hidden. But here's the shocker. It wasn't just the women Cassie mentioned. Young Miami had the white nails. Even Diddy's own mom was seen with them. Now people are really side-eyeing Steve Harvey. Was he really clueless? Or was he cozying up to Diddy to level up in Hollywood? 'Cause let's be real, back then, Diddy wasn't just another celeb. He was a billionaire, the boss of Revolt TV, and had deep ties with major power players in the industry. That's why whispers are growing louder. If Diddy decides to spill the truth, Steve's fast exit might finally make sense. And Steve ain't the only one under the spotlight. Enter Meek Mill. Since the Diddy arrest drama popped off, Meek's been real quiet, suspiciously quiet, which is odd, considering he and Diddy used to be tight. People haven't forgotten that video of Meek in the pool with Diddy, where Diddy was calling him daddy and saying, "I love you." Back then, folks laughed it off. But now, that moment looks way different. Then there's what Lil Rod claimed. In his lawsuit, he said Diddy was bending Meek Mill, that's his exact words, and throwing him deals in return. And just as that was heating up, Meek vanished, straight to Africa. He started dropping mysterious tweets like he was trying to dodge heat. One of them even said he'd give $100,000 to anyone who could tell him who's trying to link him to Diddy. Usher? Man, he's been shook. Ever since Diddy's name got tossed into this madness, Usher's been trying to stay low, but the internet is digging up receipts left and right. See, Usher's been tied to Diddy since he was a teen, like 13 years old. Back then, he was part of something called Diddy's Flavor Camp. Sounds harmless? Not anymore. Now people are saying Usher might have been put into some seriously twisted situations during that time. And remember what Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal said? Gene didn't hold back. He claimed Diddy once sent Usher to the hospital bleeding from a very disturbing area. Y'all know what that implies. That statement alone had folks' jaws on the floor. But it gets worse. There's that old Kevin Hart interview where Diddy straight up joked about waking up in bed with Usher when they were younger. Back then, everyone just laughed, thought it was one of those wild celeb moments. But now, with all this dark stuff coming out, ain't nobody laughing anymore. If Usher really got pulled into any of that, he better have his lawyers on standby, cause this storm is nowhere near over. Then we got Jay-Z. He and Diddy been rolling deep for years. Big parties, business deals, photo ops, all of that. But there's always been whispers about a woman named Kathy White. Word on the street is she was Jay's side piece and allegedly got pregnant by him. Not long after, she passed away. It's always been shady. And now folks think Diddy might know exactly what went down. Maybe even got tapes. But that ain't the only drama pulling Jay into this pit. You remember that lawsuit from a few months back? A mystery woman accused both Diddy and Jay-Z of something serious, SA, saying it happened after the 2000 VMAs at a private high-end party in NYC. When it hit the courts, things got sketchy real fast. The woman said her dad picked her up after it happened, but then he testified and said he didn't remember anything like that. She even said she spoke with Benji Madden at that same party. But here's the thing. Madden swore he wasn't even in New York at the time. Too many holes. Not enough solid facts. So the judge tossed the case, but even with that, the fire didn't die down. It just got hotter. Jaguar Wright came in swinging at Jay-Z, not holding anything back. She called him out heavy, even went as far as calling him the devil. Yup, her exact words. She claimed Jay's just as dirty as Diddy, maybe even worse. And if Diddy really has receipts linking Jay to what went down at those freak-offs, that could be the end of Jay's empire. For real. And let's not forget that bizarre Diddy birthday video, the one where he was singing to French Montana while they were both drenched in baby oil. People thought it was just weird celeb energy. But now that we know the feds reportedly found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil in Diddy's spot, that video hits completely different. But Diddy ain't the only one catching heat. Jennifer Lopez's name just got dragged back into the chaos. Remember that club shooting with Shine back in the day? It's coming back to bite hard. Word is, J-Lo might have known way more than she let on. According to some sources, she was allegedly the one carrying the strap in her purse that night, and then straight up lied to the grand jury about it. That's what Natanya Rubin, one of the women hurt in the shooting, is saying. She's been pushing for the case to be reopened, and she's willing to get bullet fragments removed from her face just to prove J-Lo's been hiding the truth for years. She said flat out, Both Diddy and J-Lo need to face consequences. And if that really happens, J-Lo might finally be looking at real legal smoke. Now here's the twist. Whistleblowers like Katt Williams and Terrence Howard are saying it's not just the black celebs caught in this web. They're calling out white Hollywood too. Even Elon Musk got dragged into this. He reposted a tweet straight up calling out Ellen DeGeneres for dipping out of the country right after Diddy's scandal hit the fan. And if you've been watching close, Ellen didn't just lay low, she vanished. A new photo popped up of her chilling at some hidden pub in England with a whole new vibe. New hair, new style, new everything. She's claiming she left to escape the chaos in the US, but nobody's buying it. The streets think she's on the run. Ellen and Diddy go way back. He used to pop up on her show all the time, laughing, joking, even talking about wild nights they had. And let's not ignore that now suspicious 2016 tweet where she told Diddy, "Happy birthday," cuddled McSnuggle stuff, then said, "Y'all don't need to know why." Oh really? Now people definitely want to know why. Plus, Ellen's already been exposed for running one of the most toxic sets in Hollywood. Former staff didn't hold back. And now folks are saying 2 of her past romantic partners died under weird circumstances. The buzz? Diddy may have helped keep things under wraps. Whether that's true or not, the timing's got people talking. Right after Joe Rogan broke everything down, Katt Williams jumped in and turned the heat all the way up. He wasn't scared to name names. For years, folks called Katt crazy. But now it's starting to look like he was just early to the truth. And Katt's not picking sides. He's saying this mess crosses all lines. Doesn't matter who you are or what color you are, if you were doing shady stuff behind the curtain, it's your turn in the spotlight. Leonardo DiCaprio is getting side-eyed too. Soon as the Diddy story started exploding, Leo hopped on a jet to Italy with his new girlfriend. He said it was a vacation, but the timing? Way too perfect. And then, boom! Old pics from Diddy's East Hampton spot in '98 pop up, showing Leo just chilling in the background like it was nothing. Now folks are seriously asking, how deep did that Diddy and Leo connection really go? Word is, back in the 2000s, they were real tight. Diddy was calling Leonardo DiCaprio his #1 guest for those infamous all-white parties. He even once told him, "Without a doubt, you are invited." That kind of invite wasn't for just anybody. But soon as things got sketchy, Leo's camp started pushing back hard, saying he hasn't spoken to Diddy in years. The distance looks more like protection now than coincidence. And then we got Ashton Kutcher suddenly switching lanes. His ties to Diddy go way back, especially during those MTV glory days. They even ran the New York Marathon together, and Ashton was front and center at the 2009 White Party. But what really raised eyebrows was that awkward Hot Ones interview. When Diddy's parties got brought up, Ashton tensed up real quick. He admitted he had stories, but said he couldn't share. Now it's looking like there's a real reason he stayed quiet. Ashton and Mila Kunis have reportedly made the big decision to ditch Hollywood completely and start fresh in Europe. Publicly, they're saying it's for a peaceful new chapter. But the internet ain't buying it. People are saying they're just trying to escape the fallout before Diddy's trial drops like a bomb. But that ain't the end, because Terrence Howard just blew the lid off the whole thing. His recent interview on the PBD podcast threw gasoline on the fire, and he didn't beat around the bush. He told it raw. According to Terrence, Diddy came at him under the fake setup of a business deal. Said it started out sounding like Diddy wanted to help with acting. Then it shifted to studio visits and talk about music. But that wasn't what it was really about. Terrence Howard didn't hold back. He made it loud and clear that Diddy wasn't the only one playing games. He said a whole bunch of producers been pulling the same slick moves for years. The pattern? It's been there. According to him, when a man walks into certain rooms, he gets treated a different way. But the minute he pushes back on those shady vibes, he gets iced out. No more invites. No more calls. Just like that. And Terrence said that's exactly what happened to a bunch of the so-called stars you see today. They either went along with it, or they vanished. Katt Williams came in and backed every word. He said he turned down $50 million not once, not twice, but 4 times, just to keep his name and soul intact. And when he said he was protecting his virgin hole, he wasn't joking. That was dead serious. Katt explained how most folks don't even realize what they're signing up for when they chase certain deals. According to him, Diddy had been trying to get close for years, but Katt always said no, every time, no matter what was on the table. Then the convo took a turn that's been whispered in the industry for years, the so-called dress agenda. That rumor that Hollywood tries to push black men into feminine roles or humiliating parts before they're allowed to reach the top. And guess who's been calling it out? Katt, Terrence, and Dave Chappelle. All of them said the same thing. It wasn't just about roles, it was about control. Terrence claimed that's the real reason he got pushed out of Iron Man. It wasn't about cash. It was because he didn't fit the mold. He wasn't trying to play a watered-down version of himself or wear a dress just to please execs. Katt had a similar story. He said Martin Lawrence tried to put him in a dress for Big Mama's house, and he shut it down. Katt told him straight, "I'm not the one y'all need." And just like that, they went and got Brandon T. Jackson instead. Katt Williams didn't let Kevin Hart slide either. He called him out straight up. Kevin once told the world he'd never wear a dress for a role, but next thing you know, he's on SNL wearing one, and then boom, his career took off right after. Katt ain't saying it was a coincidence. He's saying that's the game. Play along with the system or get locked out. Even Dave Chappelle told the same story years ago. On Oprah's couch, no less. He said they tried to get him in a dress too. He refused, and shortly after, Dave disappeared to Africa. The pattern's been hiding in plain sight. But Katt's message was loud and real. Some folks are cool with the agenda, and others walk away broke, just to protect their dignity and peace of mind. That's the choice. Meanwhile, the internet is going wild. Everybody's suddenly trying to separate themselves from Diddy like they were never cool. But let's be honest, Hollywood loved Diddy's parties. The guest lists were legendary. Now, folks are pretending they weren't there. One person online even said, "I hope that Epstein and Diddy list drops and every single person involved goes to jail." That comment alone shows how deep people think this rabbit hole goes. As we roll closer to May 2025, when Diddy's trial is set to pop off, this whole thing is starting to feel like a countdown, like the truth's about to explode. So if you're locked in with this story and want every update as it drops, make sure to like, share, and subscribe right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think is going down with Diddy? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.